Alright. Hey everybody, my name is Rain Dove, and if you don't know me, I'm typically known as a model that goes across the spectrum. I model anything I want to, honestly. It doesn't matter if it's labeled as men's, women's, or anything in between. And while I have been on catwalks, and I have been in big campaigns, and I have been with designer companies, I didn't start that way. And in fact, I think most of my family could never afford to wear what I usually wear down the runway. I actually spent about 3.5 to 4 years of my life homeless at various times. It was a time period where I was actually wondering, am I ever going to get off the streets? Is this what I'm destined for? And sometimes I still have that feeling, you know, you always ride the waves of sometimes you're doing really well financially, sometimes you just hit a lull and you wonder, am I just destined to go back there? And it's not easy. Watching what unfolded with the government shutdown made me create this video. I needed food stamps at one point in my life, and I was doing a lot of dumpster diving, and I'm going to do a video on dumpster diving, table surfing, and you know, food swapping with friends. But there was just a time where dumpster diving was really hard to do. I was living in New York City, and it was a lot harder to get the same resources I could when I was in California, and it was a lot harder to be on the streets. When I finally did have a roof over my head, it was really hard to get those resources still, so it was weird. I had shelter, but I was really hungry and lightheaded all the time, so I got food stamps. In the United States, if you're not pregnant or disabled, and you're within a certain age spectrum, typically you're only allowed to get food stamps for about 3 months, and then after that you can't have them for another 3 years. So you gotta use them and get on your feet really quickly. But if you're not familiar with how to shop with food stamps, sometimes it feels like you go to the office and you spend hours in line, but for what? To get 30 some odd dollars a week, you know? And you wonder, how am I supposed to feed myself off from 30 some odd dollars a week? When I saw that the government shutdown was leading to the potential halting of food stamps for a period of time, and I knew how vital those were for people in this country, I wanted to give them a resource so that during this final shopping period, they can prep for the second government shutdown that is potentially going to happen on February 21st. And after this government shutdown, business is out of the way, I want them to be able to have a resource to go to for reference points on how to shop, just if you're low on a budget. It may seem like a basic thing for many people who have been lower income for a while, like you already feel like you know how to shop, but there are a lot of people who don't. So this is in no way meant to be a condescending video of I know the right way or the only way, and this is in no way meant to be a video that says you're dumb. This is just a resource for any person. If you've just gotten food stamps, or maybe your paycheck was cut, or maybe you're out in the world for the first time and you just have no idea how to stock up groceries without spending a crazy amount of money, this is for you. It's really basic information and really simple information. I'm also going to give you some simple recipes in another video to make things with these goods that we're about to buy. But this will make it so that $150 or less should buy you groceries for 2 months, and you should eat very, very well and be very, very healthy. Hey everybody, I'm out here, and it is definitely the coldest day of the year so far in New York City. But all across the country, many people feel like it's cold for another reason. Because this month is the final month for them to receive food stamps and EBT assistance while the government shutdown is happening. After that, no more. It's only $133 a month that the average person receives in food stamp assistance, and that barely gets them through the month. If the government shutdown continues any longer, I want to help you get through March, or at least mostly through it. So what we're going to do is we're going to go shopping at this grocery store. New York City has some of the most expensive grocery stores in the country, and if we can make $133 last for 2 months, then so can you. Alright, let's go! What's your name?
Diamonds.
What are we doing?
We're going shopping on a budget.
Right now, we are first in the beans aisle. Beans take a lot to cook. They're not simple, and they can take some time, but once you put in a little bit of time, you can feed yourself for an entire week off from just one cooking session. You just have to be willing to soak them. Don't get these little bags unless they're on sale. You're going to want to look for things that are much larger, bigger bags, obviously buying in bulk. This one little bag is 5 meals. 5 for the average person, and it's only $1.69. A package of lentils like this is 13 servings, so it's about 2 servings per meal that you'll have on average, especially if you're mixing it in with other things like rice. This is only $1.99. This is 5 meals, and if mixed with something else, it can be up to 10 meals, depending on how you use it. This is $10. Alright, there is 32 servings in this container of rice. It's $5, and many people opt not to use rice because it takes like 20 minutes to cook. It can be time consuming, but also because they feel like maybe rice isn't so cheap, you know? However, if you're getting all your food stamps all at one time, $133, to get you throughout the entire month, instead of getting something like this, which is what typically people would get on a weekly food stamp budget, what you're gonna get is this. This is $17. It's a giant bag of brown rice. It has 202 servings in it, which is way more bang for your buck. On top of that, 202 servings, you've got basically 3 servings per day of rice. Here, for 2 months, you're fed. That's a lot of rice. So we now have enough rice and beans for 2 months. And we still have over $100 left to spend. A lot of people don't know that the frozen veggies actually are healthier for you in some cases than fresh cut vegetables. And the reason why is during the off season, fresh veggies have to travel a long distance and they decompose during that time period. They touch other hands, they get bacteria on them, and they break down. Whereas a lot of frozen vegetables are frozen right there on the moment and it preserves their nutrients. As long as you don't thaw them before you cook with them and you just throw them frozen right into the pan, they are an alternative that's actually sometimes even better for you. One of the biggest problems that we have with food, with monetary waste, is food waste. So with fresh veggies, we're constantly throwing them out. We're throwing out the stems, we're throwing out other things that factor into their price, because like the weight of broccoli, for instance, part of that weight is the stem, and we end up oftentimes throwing out things like that. With frozen veggies, everything is pared away, all the unnecessary stuff, and because it's frozen, it keeps the entire time. There's no food waste unless you decide not to eat it and you toss it. We have a mixed vegetable medley. The great thing about this is that you're going to have a lot of different types of nutrients and vitamins, a lot of different types of veggies in there. It'll keep things looking colorful and fun, and it's also pretty healthy for you. In a single bag like this, there's 11 servings. In order to feed you for 2 months, you need 6 bags. What you're going to do is you're going to put a single serving on most of your meals. It's a lot. Okay, so another thing that you're going to want to do is you're not going to want to eat the same food over and over again. And later on, we're going to talk to you about how to make every meal a little bit different and exciting. One of the things you want to do is just have veggies that you don't normally eat, and you can have meals where you just kind of splash them in. We have cut okra. That's one of the things that we're going to splash in here. It's actually really high in potassium, and it also is very high in calcium, apparently. We have cauliflower and broccoli, just to add some texture, and they're also pretty good for you. Lastly, this should go just, about a serving on every other meal. Collard greens. These are really, really good for you. You can also do spinach. Spinach is a good option as well. This goes really well with rice or with lentils or with most of the meals we're going to suggest. All in all, this is enough veggies for lunch and dinner for 2 months. For breakfast, I know that it may not sound great to do something that's not eggs and bacon or sugary cereal or whatever you like to eat in the morning. But sometimes consistency is key to health, and one of the healthiest breakfasts that you can actually have, if you're not allergic, of course, is oats. So these are only $7 each. And there's enough in these 2 containers to feed you for a month. A full cup of oatmeal every day. Not only can oatmeal help reduce your cholesterol, and is it good? It's also good in fiber, really good high source of protein. It fuels you throughout the day, so oatmeal doesn't break down as quickly. And on top of that, does good things for your poop. Like real good things for your poop. So oatmeal for breakfast. And if you get tired of it for breakfast, you can make cookies with it, you can make desserts with it, you can make shakes with it. Easy. And now we are down to $59. We are in the fruits and veggies section, and there are a lot of veggies that you're going to want to get that aren't frozen just to make things taste better and add into your recipes. One of them is onions. But the thing about onions is that you can buy a giant bag of onions and it will last you 2 months unless you have a very cool place to store it. Often they'll sprout after the 30 days. So this is one of those things where you're going to want to get maybe a bag like this. It'll last you for a full month. It's only $2, but at the end of this month, you want to come back and get your next month's worth. So we're just going to get 1 bag of onions. And hopefully at the end of this, we'll have enough money left over that we can come back and buy some later on. All right, so what we have here is a bag of potatoes. This is about $3.50. It is 20 potatoes in a bag. That means that you can have a potato once every 3 days, add it to a meal, fry it up. 1 potato may not seem like a lot, but actually you're gonna feel pretty full after eating one of these, and then a side of any of the other dishes that you're making. They don't have a lot of nutritional value in them, but they are very filling. They give you a lot of calories, keep you moving throughout the day. And you can do a lot of fun things with them that kind of spice up your life. You know, fry them, bake them, boil them, scallop them, stare at them raw. I mean, they're a pretty cool thing. Olive oil, it's $10. You probably are going to want some kind of oil to cook with. This is probably one of the healthier options. You can go much cheaper and do like a corn oil for $6, or even a vegetable oil, which I don't really recommend, but you can do it if you're really on a budget. And you can get that vegetable oil for just $3. For about the same amount. But if you want to go healthy, treat yourself. $10. And you got 2 months worth of olive oil, which you can cook in, and you can also drizzle it on things as it is. Garlic is another thing that's going to spice up your life and make everything taste a lot better. I highly recommend getting a thing like this. It's $3. This should last you for 2 months. You shouldn't be plowing through the garlic, but some people do. Some people love garlic. This will bring your total down to $40.70. The next thing that you might want to look at getting is something for vitamin C, something to supplement the fact that buying oranges and fruit can be kind of expensive during this time period. So get something that says not from concentrate, not from concentrate, not from concentrate. Get lemon juice, because during this particular time, you're going to be supplementing your sugary beverages and juices and things like that with water. It'd be better for your health probably in the longer run, so look at it in a positive way. But if you do this meal plan, you're going to go and get things like lemon juice, not from concentrate. This thing right here is only $2. They also have lime juice. Get one that says not from concentrate. Put a teaspoon in your water every time you have it throughout the day. It'll give your water some flavor. It's also going to give you some vitamin C. You drink 4 glasses of water a day, you're going to have a full 100% serving of your daily vitamin C needs. And easy. So that's $4. These are tortillas, corn tortillas. You can also get flour ones. They're only $2.50. I've seen them as cheap as $1. And if you have these, this means that every 4 days for 2 months, you can have a meal of 2 tacos. You fill them nice and full, and they'll fill your belly pretty well. And it breaks things up. You can fry them, you can steam them. You have a stove that has flame pilot, so you can actually just toss it right on there and give you kind of a grilled effect. And it just makes food fun. And, you know, they have a surprising amount of calcium and iron in them. Instead of getting fresh tomatoes, which go bad rather quickly, and also they're just a lot more expensive, getting canned tomatoes like this can do wonders. These can sit in your fridge covered and still be good once you've opened them for a long time. You can use these to make your meals a little bit more diverse. So this is going to go into the base of your curry, which I'm going to talk to you a little bit about later on. And 2 of these will make it so that you can have a curry every single week, once a week, and have a little bit left over, maybe to spice up your taco night. Now we are going to talk about spices. You should have a little pantry of spices, and if you don't already, and you're gonna have to buy them completely scratched in order to prepare for this month, these spices will allow you to make everything from a Thai dish to a soup to a curry to tacos. You just have to know the right ratio and mixing them together. We have black pepper, which is a common, simple one, cinnamon, ground cumin, salt, crushed red pepper. That gives a little bit of heat. If you don't want heat, don't worry about getting it. You can also just end up getting chili powder, which is not as spicy and it still gives a flavor to things. They have in a lot of stores, instead of them coming in a container like this, they come in a plastic, like in a bag, and the bags are much cheaper, by up to 50% sometimes. On average, these spices should be about $2 to $3 each. When we add them all together, it's $10 to $12. We're gonna round up and be pessimistic, which means that now we're down to $17 left. And we have just a couple more things to buy. So this is bouillon. Bouillon cubes are used to make things like a basic stock for soup, or to give flavoring to rice or to beans. It could even be used in marinades. This will definitely help enhance a lot of your foods, and it will help you make a couple of key soups throughout the next couple of months. There's 48 cubes in this one pack, which means that you can basically put a bouillon cube in almost like one meal a day, which is pretty cool. And they go really, really far. They're very salty. So sometimes it can flavor 3 or 4 meals at one time, one go. The average price of this is $3. This one says $2.79, but we're gonna round up and be pessimistic, which means we are now down to $14. Our last find for the entire thing is sugar. Sugar could go into your oatmeal, lemon and lime juice, just to give it a little bit of sweetness, your curry, and it can go into some of the other meals that you're making. It's just a really basic thing. Sugar isn't great for you, so don't use a lot of it, unless you want to. It's your life, do your thing. But organic cane sugar, you don't have to get organic. The reason I get organic cane sugar is because I try to get sugar that's not bleached. At $3.59, it's only 9 cents more expensive than the other bag of sugar. This should last you for 2 months. We are down to about $10 left. Where'd our cart go? Okay, so there we have it. That is $123 with the groceries. We came in here with a $133 budget. Instead of making it last just this month, we're gonna make this last 2 months, and this is 2 months worth of food. At the end of this, I'm gonna be sharing with you some cool recipes that you can use to make everything in here very diverse and interesting, so each meal is a little bit different from the last. And yeah, I know times are hard, but like the song above is lean on me. You can always lean on me. That means hit me up, send me DMs, send me any questions that you have. I will try my best to get back to you quickly, and we're gonna get through this. I love you. Alright, well, I hope you enjoyed the video. It's quite a sit-through. I'm still learning how to edit, so bear with me. I will definitely be learning as I go along. Our next videos coming out are gonna, first of all, help people learn how to shop if you are homeless or without the ability to cook, freeze, and refrigerate your goods. So you won't be able to buy a lot of the things that we had today. So I'm going to make another video specifically for people who are transient or without a shelter that allows them access to those things. We're also going to make simple hack videos for people who are lower income, or they're in a tough space, or you're homeless. I learned a lot of things being on the streets, and I never really thought about passing them on, because I guess I don't know if I was necessarily embarrassed, but I never thought about, I guess, sharing the knowledge that it would be helpful at all. But hey, I got a camera, so we'll do something good with it, right? Some of the videos that are going to come out are videos like how to loiter, I know that sounds really strange and maybe people don't like the term loitering, but when I was on the street and I was homeless, I had to figure out how to loiter. It was difficult because otherwise you had to be outside. So we're gonna make a video on how to loiter, how to find a safe dry space during the day, how to find warm places. We're gonna do another video on how to get through a night on the street. So we'll have everything from how to pack your bed, from materials that you find on the street, how to find a place to sleep on the street and or in a city. And we're also going to have videos on how to get food sources throughout the city without having to go through a system like Foodstamps. We also will help you do a bit of a starter kit on how to get yourself back on your feet. So how to get employed, how to get work under the table, how to write a resume, just really basic stuff, because you deserve better. You deserve a good life, and I want you to have that.